Hayden Winks and I are coming to you live from 2020, or at least that's what it feels like when you hop into one of these drafts, because running backs are back, Hayden. They are back to a degree which I could have never predicted. Even watching Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry tear the league a new one in 2024, even watching Jonathan Taylor go nuts in 2025, I would never have predicted my slappy brethren to have capitulated to the degree that Javonte Williams is a fourth-round pick. More than 50% of the top two-round picks are running backs. 50% of the top 50 players off the board are running backs, and that's actually even going to flip even more because Cam Skattebo's ADP is rising. I expect once training camp starts that Byshell Tutin's ADP is going to rise once people realize who Chris Rodriguez Jr. is. I think we could see Trevion Henderson rise, or Ramondre, one of the two. I think we could see some flopping there. So I brought you on to ask you this question before we hop in a draft. This is the chart from 2020 of when it was optimal to draft running backs in 2020. Are we just fully back to running back starts?
We definitely are. There was, I think, we'll look back. It was the 2022 season, and I think in 2023 or 2021, I forget what it is. There's back-to-back years where the just late round running back went absolutely crazy. And I think those were just back-to-back outlier seasons. And then in half PPR best ball, you just need the running back points. And I think since we started this in 2020, the NFL has just completely changed. This was still part of the era where you're getting Tom Brady crazy MVP seasons. Patrick Mahomes was actually in MVP races at this point, and then since then it's just been all really balanced offenses, and then lots of tight ends getting involved, second, third tight ends, which just means wide receivers are on the field for fewer snaps. So I think this trend is here to stay for a while. And then for this year in particular, we got no rookie running backs that we want to draft. So
there's one.
Okay, I would like to hear which one it is. Is it Katron or who is it?
Jadarian Price, bro.
I was talking about later round guys. There's an influx of there's not really guys to draft in the 10th to 15th round that we want to get excited about. Katron Allen is the best I can come up with right now, and that's not very good.
Oh, Jonah Coleman. No one agrees with me on this. I've literally been arguing about this with Corain and Jacob all week. No one agrees with me, but I'm too familiar with Sean Payton's game, too familiar with how he operates on things. I think RJ Harvey is being drafted about 70 slots too high, and Jonah Coleman is being drafted about 30 slots too low, based on my mental modeling. So last year, the average running back one scored 17.1 points per game, right? Almost 80 rushing yards per game. If we compare that, I can refresh here and we can see the average wide receiver one. I mean, I haven't looked at this yet, but I'm going to guess it's absolutely frame mugged. Not as much as you would think, actually, both about 17 points per game. I would guess JSN on the high end really, really helped that out.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe some of the lower end running back ones last year actually came towards the middle. My memory, obviously, of so much of last season was dominated by Jonathan Taylor, who was useless in the fantasy postseason. He ended up being a sub 20 points per game player. The first 8 weeks of the season, he was on pace to beat, he was on pace to have a LaDainian Tomlinson season. He was going to have 25 fantasy points per game before the injury there. I've gone back and forth on this so many times in terms of what do I think is optimal? Do I think I really should just be following the herd and drafting these running backs and running back starts and 2 running backs through 3? And I mean, obviously, it's April 30th, so I don't have to make up my mind in terms of my full answer yet. If I had to draft one way for the rest of the season right now, I think probably what I would say is I would err on the side of being running back heavy early, but maybe stopping at 5 on most of my Best Ball Mania teams instead of going with the 6 to try and find more wide receiver breakouts, a lot of 3 tight end teams. Obviously, our human brains, we just try and find patterns. That's what we do. We pattern match even when no such thing exists. 1 year, and I don't know if it's going to be this year. I don't know if it's going to be next year. I don't know when it's going to be, but Christian McCaffrey will go to 0. Saquon Barkley will go to 0. Derrick Henry will go to zero. Josh Jacobs will go to zero. These absolute stalwarts who are on some of these guys are on their third contracts, Hayden. Running backs on their third contracts are going in the top 20 picks in fantasy football. Even back in the day, that was kind of unheard of. Even in your dad's NFL, that was kind of unheard of. Now, obviously, guys train differently. They take better care of their bodies, like all that stuff. But the utmost confidence in these 29, 30-year-old, 31, 32 years old, in Derrick Henry's case, running backs. I mean, there actually are terms for that degree of hubris from the market for sure.
Yeah, a lot to hit on there. I do think with the age stuff, though, there still has to be a quality backup to take over. And with Derrick Henry, like, is it Justice Hill? Like, let's say Derrick Henry is worse this year. Like, what does it mean?
It's my guy Adam Randall, 235 pounds, baby.
Sure, yeah, the owner's pet project.
Yes.
Yeah, so like, and then Kalen Black is just going to take CMC's job and stuff. So like, even if we're pricing these things down, I think what happens is these guys are still volume hogs and they finish as RB2s instead of RB1s. And like, it's not the best pick. It's not the worst pick. I think the big part though, what you were mentioning with the wide receiver ones, it's not the wide receiver ones that got rug pulled. It's wide receiver 13 to wide receiver 40. Those guys are just meaningless.
Meaningless.
And RB2s, RB13 to RB25 is just lapping the field on those guys. I mean, it's like not even close. And that's the actual decisions that we're going to have to be making. And I think that one's pretty easy for me, where I want to get into the running backs there. I think what's harder for me is actually in like the first round, where those wide receivers are so far ahead of the wide receiver field, and you need wide receiver points. And I do not like the wide receiver prices in general, that I'm debating, okay, is this time where I do Amon-Ra St. Brown over Christian McCaffrey? Because I don't like that decision, in the second and third round. I think those running back prices are pretty juicy right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, the ability to start your draft with Justin Jefferson and James Cook or whatever is pretty fire. I mean, I'm not a big James Cook guy, but substitute your running back of choice in that range right there. As you can see, the average wide receiver 2 and the average wide receiver 3, I mean, truly, like, these guys straight up did not matter in fantasy football.
And it's flat. Like, you're like right here, it's 13.7 versus 12.4. Like, that just does not move the needle at enough. All. And then wide receiver 4s would be like 11, and the wide receiver 5s would be like 9 or something like that. It just gets so flat. I think it makes sense because like running backs, like, they just get so much more like the team touches. There's a big drop off, and yeah, especially in half PPR best ball, like all those receptions go out the window, or half of the value of them go out the window. And I think that just took forever for us to like agree on that. But I think these prices are probably going to be like normal, like for kind of the rest of time. Obviously, it'll ebb and flow a little bit, but I think for the most part, like, this is kind of what it's going to be.
I mean, when you start looking at the wide receiver tiers for best ball, I think you get to the T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Igbuka range, and then you start going, truly tell me what the difference is between Brian Thomas Jr. and T. Higgins. Like really honest to God, I don't know if you can. Or what is the difference?
I would say one tier down. Like, to me, I would get to DJ Moore, and then I'll go all the way down to Chris Godwin and stuff. And it's like, to me, it's like not.
It's all
different.
The same.
Jordan Tyson versus Jaden Reed. Like, really, like, how often is Tyson beating Reed this year? Like 60% of the time.
Yeah,
like, to me, that's the gap.
Yeah, you pay a little bit of youth tax and things like that. And this is the point. No one is saying these are bad picks. What I'm saying is that you could tell me that Ricky Pearsall pretty easily outscores Rome Odunze, and I'd be like, well, yeah, I mean, sure. Why wouldn't he? Like, Ricky Pearsall has a clear path to being the lead target on his team. Rome Odunze has no path to leading the Chicago Bears in targets. I mean, and then I guess a further problem is that then the tier after that, you get to guys you're like, I don't even know if this guy's going to play. You get to like, how many targets can I realistically pencil in for Romeo Doubs once they trade for AJ Brown? Is Jaden Higgins going to be a full-time player, or is like Xavier Hutchinson going to be ahead of him? Is Khalil Shakir going to get 60 catches this year? Is Travis Hunter just going to play defensive back? Is Rashid Shaheed going to get 1.5 like designer touches per game? And you just have like such a low degree of confidence there.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I was saying this last year, the tight ends out project the wide receivers after you get to a certain point, straight up in fantasy points.
Yeah.
It's like the tight end 2s, like the tight end 15 versus the wide receiver 60. the tight end 15 is just like projecting for more fantasy points straight up. And when I look at like the fantasy points over replacement model, every year in half PPR, like the lowest scoring flex guy is about like the running back like 32, the wide receiver 40, and like the tight end 14. Where like the tight end 14 is like pretty much equal with like the wide receiver 39. And we typically would be like, there's no way a tight end's going to hit your flex. It actually is starting to happen, especially at these price points where the wide receivers were getting too priced ahead. Now, like the wide receiver pricing has come down to like a reasonable level, so it's like not as drastic as I thought it was like the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. So, I mean, the tight end point is a pretty good one that obviously the NFL has shifted to this, this 12 personnel, 13 personnel meta.
It's not going to work, by the way. Can I just say this? Like,
yes,
when
please.
Jacksonville is like trying to do this, no one is talking about the consensus board rankings. It's not like just that they reached. They're reaching on somebody that they project is going to play like 45% of the snaps. Like it's to me, it's like, what value is a run blocking guy that's going to be out there for 50% of the snaps actually like moving the needle? Like the Deshaun Stribling pick is way better than the blocking tight end, because in theory, Stribling can be an 100% snap player in ways that these blocking tight ends can't. Like to me, like we've like gone way overboard on the value of a blocking tight end like this, or like the middle of the second round. Like that's insane.
It's to me, it's like a fundamental misunderstanding, and you would think football guys would be better than this, that like the value that Colby Parkinson and Tyler Higbee and Terrence Ferguson were adding to the Rams offense is that like they can definitely beat linebackers. Like specifically, like Terrence Ferguson is like a high, like he's like a high A dot guy. The Ravens 12 personnel. It's like, okay, well, both of those guys can catch the ball. I know you think Eli Stowers is a wide receiver, much to my chagrin, but like that one makes sense to me for the Eagles, is like get a little bit bigger, but have 2 guys out there that you think can catch. I mean, make Dallas Goedert the blocking tight end if you wanted to spend a second round pick on Eli Stowers. Or I mean, there are a lot of teams that I think are going to do well in that personnel, and then there are some teams that are going to be like for example, if Kansas City is like, you know what, Noah Gray, baby, Gray, 55% route share, bad idea. Terrible won't idea. Work. Yeah, really, really bad idea. Maybe the Jets try it with Sadiq and Mason Taylor. That maybe, but like,
I think what you're like, I agree with what you're saying here in that not every team can successfully do this, because not every team has Sean McVay, and I do wonder like how much of the 13 personnel stuff is play calling design and understanding tendencies, not the players themselves. Like if we took out Colby Parkinson and went down a tier at tight end, do you think the effectiveness of the 13 personnel would be all that different, or is it just the uniqueness of it from this last season? So like when the rest of the NFL starts to do this and we start getting better ideas on defense, then I just wonder if like these other teams are too late, or they're just like misapplying it. Like you just need to use 13 personnel. It's not that like you need to spend a second round pick to execute it. Like I'm just wondering if it's just more of like a schematic advantage from a coaching staff more so than like the actual players.
Yes. I 100. I mean, the players obviously help, but
it's Davis Allen and freaking a rookie tight end and Colby Parkinson and Tyler Higbee. Like these aren't like studs.
There's a reason why the Raiders offense sucked with Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll doing it, even though they had Bowers and Mayer. Like Mayer, you might think he sucks, but for a second tight end, Michael Mayer's pretty good, right? Yeah. But they're not gonna. I mean, Andy Reid and Matt Nagy had nothing last year. They had nothing. They had no ideas, like to the point that they had literally had to soft fire Nagy and bring back some. I think the issue might be, I mean, we don't need to do Chiefs corner, but I think one of the issues might be is that Nagy won't tell Reid no about anything. And I think Bieniemy is like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like we got it. Like we got to do that. That's the vibe. That's the vibe I get from outside the building. But yeah, I guess in terms of macro trends, the thing that I would tell you guys not to expect would be the exact same thing that just happened in the NFL happening again. I would be very surprised if EPA per rush, EPA per pass, if the exact same statistics ran back and that 12 personnel and 13 personnel increased in a linear fashion for all teams across the board. I would be very, very surprised with those outcomes.
Yep, I totally agree. And it'd be really funny if Sean McVay like stopped doing the 13 personnel stuff as like the rest of the league tries to do it, and it's just not working. I think it was like Sumer Sports. Somebody put out a column like showing like the Rams were like the only team that when they were using 13 personnel, it was actually effective. Everybody else, it was dog shit. So like that would be like something I'd want to get to the bottom of
Well,
before.
And how about? I mean, we've already seen the green shoots of that because they gave it up in the last postseason game.
Yeah.
They totally reverted back to the standard. I mean, which is so funny because the OG Sean McVay invention was running everything out of 11. It was like we are staying in 11 all the time. So my wide receivers need to be good run blockers because we're gonna run all of our we're running 90% 11 personnel.
And condensed like almost use your wide receivers like a tight end because Cooper Kupp is just a total savage. Like, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Those were the days. Those were the days.
Yes. Ugh, man, people forget that it's just so funny like that Cooper Kupp is still hanging around because his 2020. I mean, I'm certain that there are people that watch the Underdog Fantasy Football Show with Josh and Hayden who are like, Cooper Kupp, dude, that guy's never been good. What do you mean?
It was sad to see his ADP at like 213 when I was doing my rankings. I'm like, man, this guy was like the best receiver like not that long ago. It's just crazy.
I mean, he has like he's got the record, right? The receiving yardage per game record.
Yeah,
I mean, that's nuts.
Yeah, I think he had the all-time record, including the playoffs, for like all the stats. Yeah, it was like he went Jerry Rice for a season for.
And he was kind of doing it before and after that. His body just kind of gave up on him, which is a little bit of a bummer. All right, we're in. We are drafting out of the 4 slot. People, Hayden want the people want to know this. When the rankings come out for the big board or for this, is that you? They want to know if it's you.
I will answer this honestly. It used to be a lot of me, and as the time has passed, it's become less of me. I'll put it that way.
That was always so. That was what I said this year when it came out. I was like, this does not have Hayden's fingerprints on it. I don't think this is him.
Yeah, I've been busy doing other things. So like once this comes out, I was hitting up Hope and Numi. I was like, hey, what are we gonna launch with so I can start preparing? I'm like just like a day later than I used to be.
Yeah. That's a bummer. I thought we were gonna get Gibbs to fall to us at 4 there. So here we go. We're gonna test it out. We're gonna take Puka at 4. I mean, I hope he's at a rehab or wherever he is right now.
Yeah. I wonder how serious these rehabs even are, man. It seems like there's a lot of performative rehabs going across the NFL right now.
Yeah, we call that he's doing rehabilitation of his image. He's doing PR rehab. I mean, it just like I get this question every so often, like, oh, are you scared of taking Puka there? And I'm like, bro, he is way too good. They will like short of like being caught on video committing like a violent crime, even getting caught on video committing a non-violent crime, the Rams are like, we love you, bro. Come on.
Yeah, they'll just take the suspension and keep it moving. And the suspension wouldn't happen this year anyways. Like it's just we couldn't even get Rashee Rice, like behind bars or suspended for very long. Like that was multiple offenses.
Rashee Rice is a straight up convicted felon, bro. Or I guess
Tyreek. Tyreek is like for 10 years in a row has just been like always being arrested and has not.
Yeah, every Tyreek report is like, hey man, you're probably a criminal. Like you're probably a violent criminal. Yeah. I mean, speaking of which, of that group of unsigned receivers, Diggs, Deebo, Brandon Aiyuk, Tyreek Hill, I guess you could toss Keenan Allen in there. Do you think any of them are going to be big fantasy contributors this year?
I think Diggs looked decent enough last year, and his numbers were decent.
Yeah, 12th amongst wide receivers in yards per route run.
Yeah, he would be the best option. I don't think we're going to get him signed for a little bit here. And I don't know the latest on I think the charges got dropped or whatever, but he was being involved with something. So it would be him for me. Juwan Jennings will sign with the Vikings here in a minute.
Or the Dolphins can give him more money if they want to.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they will, but they can.
He would be draftable for sure.
For sure.
On either team, he would be very much draftable. Obviously, there's no ceiling to chase there. There's
I think he could definitely have some ceiling with the Vikings just because we've seen. I mean, KOC is Shanahan tree. We've seen those guys just basically like cheat their way into like Naylor had like a 6 touchdown season one year.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm a Kyler believer. Not everyone is a
Kyler
believer
too. I was looking through my rankings versus ADP and looking at which teams I'm higher on. The Vikings was like by far the highest. I'm ahead on like Jefferson, Addison, Kyler by a million. I'll draft some Jordan Mason if I have to, but like Kyler, Addison to me, like that's pretty automatic right now.
I'm a Demond Claiborne guy. Surprising no one. Yeah. You got to bet on the 185 pounds. Day 3 running back pick, and he wasn't even selected by the owner. I mean, at least Adam Randall was legitimately selected by the owner.
I think that's a bad thing.
The Ravens
being picked by the owner seems like it's not going to go well for you.
All right, where are you at on this spot here? Do we just take the running back, or do you take? I like taking one of McBride or Bowers.
Okay, I like Bowers ahead of McBride, and I think
Same.
I would be thinking about Jeremiah Love here. I'm surprised that Jeremiah Love's ranked this low. I mean, it's not often where I'm the running back ahead. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, what am I missing here? Like, this guy is incredible. He's going to get the ball a bajillion times.
Yeah.
Good coaching staff.
The first day the contest was open, I drafted him, I think, literally every time because he was a 3rd round pick. And now it has normalized a little bit. But yeah, I've got Bowers up to 16. I have an old set of rankings in. So I'm going to go upload a new set.
Bowers too. It's like, I mean, is Bowers going to set the like tight end target record this year? Like, I actually think like that's like within the range of outcomes, like very much so.
I mean, hey man, there's this false equivalency going on right now where because we all sold ourselves on the team last year that ended up being quite bad, is everyone's like, well, what, you're going to fall for Clint Kubiak again, bro? It's like, I don't know. I think I probably am. I think I am certainly going to fall for it again. Yeah.
Yeah. Seems decent.
Bowers, I mean, even in that season, he had the 41.5 point game or whatever. Yeah. Like completely unbelievable.
On one leg. Like Brock Bowers, I think Brock Bowers should easily be going ahead of Trey McBride. And I had that opposite last year. This guy be Jacobs.
Yeah. I think these guys are all the same. I think Jacobs, Brees, Etienne, and Kyron are all the same. Where it's like, if they keep their job all year, then they're gonna be really good. And if they don't keep their job all year, like if Jacob suffers an injury, if Etienne suffers an injury, if Kyron suffers an injury, if Brees suffers an injury, they're gonna be bad. But I would project all of them to be like 14.5 to 16.5 fantasy points per game players.
Yeah, I love Tedero McMillan. Taking McMillan over these running backs, like I just don't know how the math works.
You're on the wrong mic.
Oops.
Been there many times, as everyone in the chat can figure out.
I think I'm back. Am I back now?
You're back. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Tedero McMillan has to be one of my lowest drafted players at this point because I like AJ Brown and Devonta Smith over him. I think I like Garrett Wilson more than Tet too. Like if I'm going to take a wide receiver on a bad offense where I don't know if I believe in the quarterback, at least let me take the guy I know. Like I think Garrett Wilson's a lot better than Tet.
Yeah, I just like going wide receiver, and then Josh Jacobs, Etienne, Kyron. I'll throw in Breece Hall this year. Like those guys just project so much better than the wide receiver. Especially when you've already drafted 2 wide receivers. Like to me, like this is 2023 brain going on here. Like it just, the math doesn't math, especially if all the running backs get priced up and there's no rookie running backs to kind of, find the weak spot later on in the draft. Like you're kind of just like forced into it.
Are you able to sell yourself at all on the Geno Smith experience?
Not with Frank Reich. I mean, Frank Reich is tough.
Frank Reich. I can't believe he's still coaching.
It's tough, and their interior offensive line is pretty bad too right now.
Frank Reich wasn't he calling like college
games
with
Stanford? He was hanging out with not even. I'm not even sure if he was a coach. Like I think he was just like hanging out with Andrew Luck. I think was his like official title. According
to Wikipedia, he was the interim head coach. But yeah, okay. The Frank Reich situation is not great.
Yeah, I think he's been fired back-to-back seasons in the middle of the year, which is never good.
Not who I would be looking at to like try and like kind of like purge my organization, or because you're going to fire Aaron Glenn this year probably. So you're setting up Frank Reich to be your interim head coach.
He's used to it.
He doesn't seem great.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a pretty tricky spot. I mean, Burden, I think, is a jam here, but then we're going to have to take, we're going to be a little bit lighter on running backs.
Yeah. I see it the same way.
Because, again, to me, I think unless you have the gift of foresight, who knows who's going to score more points between Trevion, Montgomery, Tootin, Judkins, Skattebo, Price, Swift. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty flat there. I actually like Skattebo and Price, I think maybe the most out of that group. I think the Cam Skattebo stuff's going to go right back all the way up,
Yeah, I mean, it will need to see him healthy and running and moving around.
It'll happen. It'll happen. He'll be out there in the middle of training camp, ready to go, and be like, "Oh yeah, he was 2 rounds too cheap."
I have him ranked 10 spots ahead of ADP Skattebo, and I've got Price ranked way ahead of ADP, as well. And we can take
either one.
Oh, actually, I've got Skattebo. See, I get disorganized doing these rankings. I got to move them. Because what happens is I do the market baking, and then sometimes it messes up my process. Yeah. Okay, Montgomery, Tootin, Judkins, Skattebo, Price.
This would be Skattebo for me, for sure.
Done. Send it. All right, there we go.
He was the RB11 for 6 weeks in a row, and their offensive line just got better. Coaching staff got better. Jackson Dart in year 2. Seems good.
I was a big Jackson Dart guy. I had a hard time selling myself on Skattebo last year, just fully. And I mean, obviously it ended up working out, and in some degree because he got injured. But I mean, he would have been a lot better than a lot of other running back picks. That I took. So, but yeah,
he's just a volume hog, man. He just can't stop touching the ball 23 times a game. It's been his entire life. It's just been, I'm getting 23 touches again.
He is definitely one of those guys where you're just he wasn't that athletic. Wasn't really any reason to think oh, you got to go get this guy. But he's one of those guys where it's just a ball player, man.
You just got to get him.
He's just a ball player.
He's too wide to tackle. There's some physics about this with him.
Well, and a lot of the guys his size are not particularly great pass catchers. A lot of the guys his size will come in as subpar pass catchers or have questions about pass, they're oh, that's only an early down guy. So getting a guy that size who can then be the passing down guy, it completely unlocks the range. It's actually how I feel about Jonah Coleman. I'm again, most guys that size, that profile are Chris Rodriguez or whatever. Yeah. And it's no, it's that's the thing he sells. That was the first thing Sean Payton said about Jonah Coleman was most rookies you have to worry about pass blocking. You don't have to worry about him.
I agree. I see Jonah Coleman in that, he's much smaller than Samaj AP Ryan, but I think he can kind of do that type of thing. I like the landing spot for him because he's a good fit, but it's so hard to get too excited about the Sean Payton running backs when there's very clearly going to be 3 of them.
There's very clear which one do you guys, would you be projecting to be the Jaleel where it's that role is useless?
Probably Jonah.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously you could be right. I don't have a super clear conviction of that yet. I certainly think there is a chance that it's RJ Harvey, way too much of a chance to feel really good about drafting him in the 80s or wherever.
I thought his rookie season was really tough, man. He had a couple big weeks, but I think just watching him every single week for just prep for our show, there were so many wasted runs with him just bouncing it outside, just again and again.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't want to go get through the tackles.
Yeah, I mean he's still really athletic, so things could come together. But the fact that they were flirting with every free agent running back,
every free agent running
Price,
back,
and the whole time there's we have to upgrade. And then I think Waddle is going to completely change their offense too, where I think some of the running back targets and stuff are going to be flow to Waddle
screens. Yeah,
I think Waddle's going to go nuts.
Waddle is a great pick. I'm
great
completely
pick.
with you. All right, do you want to just take Caleb Williams here for our stack, or are you a Marvin Harrison, bro?
No, I'm not Marvin Harrison, bro. Yeah, this is clearly Caleb here.
It's the quarterback window, man. There's just you got it. Like I was talking about this with Jacob yesterday. Like whoever you take here in the 6th round or the 7th round, you end up looking back on it and you're like, fuck, did I really need Chuba Hubbard? Did I really need Alec Pierce? Like, no, I probably should have just taken my quarterback so that my second quarterback isn't Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah. This is something that I felt was true for a while. Looking at the fantasy points over replacement, the quarterbacks where we were pricing them in half PPR versus where they would finish every single year, like the delta was like 20, 30 picks, like on average, like all of the quarterback, like the quarterback 12, the quarterback 20, those were guys were getting drafted like the 120s or later, and they would finish like 76 in fantasy points over replacement using the best ball scoring.
Yeah.
Like for like 6 years in a row, like maybe there's something to this.
All right. This is like the worst pick on the board. You got to make it for me.
Oh God. I would probably do Ramondre or Warren.
Yeah.
I think we need running back points.
I honestly end up defaulting to Ramondre or Warren, sometimes even Pollard or whatever there so often because I'm like, I mean, the Parker Washington, Cortland Sutton, Alec Pierce experience is not something I'm interested in signing myself up for.
Yeah.
At all. Obviously, you don't. I mean, sometimes you can take a quarterback there, particularly if it closes out the loop on a stack. But yeah, where do you stand on the Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr., like just the whole thing?
Don't love it. I think Jacksonville can be negative regression candidates like as a team level. I like Liam Cohen, but it seems like they're going to do the multiple tight end set thing, which means there's probably going to be more 2 wide receiver sets. And I don't even know who's going to be in 2 wide receiver sets. Like I really wanted to double down to be like Brian Thomas is a monster, but I'm not even sure if he's going to be in 2 wide receiver sets because like they just don't trust him to block and stuff. I think that's why they have Jacoby Myers involved. And then like on top of that, we still don't know about Travis Hunter. I think he's probably going to be a role player, like 10 snaps per game on offense type of situation, but those do add up. So I think there's like a lot to get right here. Parker Washington was like legitimately good last year, but like that could be a all-time rug pull situation.
I was going to say is that not just like 2 steps removed from Travis Fulgham? You're telling me there's no you're just like there's no Travis Fulgham risk with Parker Washington. I don't know. I
almost wonder if he's like almost there's like a Wan'Dale Robinson to this where like the scam kind of keeps going. I think at different rates.
Well, or this is a better comp, Jawan Jennings. He just completely blows up when the team had very little else going. And then Brian Thomas Jr. A small people forget from last year is that if you wanted to hand wave away why Brian Thomas Jr. was so bad, you could say it was because of this wrist injury and he was just too afraid of getting hit. And also his best friend did die and like in very, very tragic circumstances. Like, I'm not saying I believe in any of these things. I don't know. I'm just looking to add color to the situation because there's very little comparables in NFL history for a guy to be as dominant and as good as he was as a rookie and then trend to the wide receiver 4 on the freaking Jaguars.
And he had like 17 touchdowns in his last college season too, and was a first round pick. So it wasn't like just the rookie season. Like it's
it's kind of funny you mentioned that because he was kind of like a squint and you have to see it prospect. Like not everyone thought he was a good pick to the Jaguars when he went there. Yeah. Like I remember, I think Gretsch was pretty anti him as a rookie
because like the target share, like the reception numbers, like in full PPR stuff. Like I understand the criticisms. I think like in real life, it's like there goes the 6'3" guy that is faster than everybody. Seems good.
You want to do Godwin, Pearsall, Pittman?
Yeah, we're probably mixing in here. I think Godwin would be good. I like Godwin.
It's very. I call this range of the draft they got to go in some order.
Yeah.
Players like the player, it's just the way if these were auction drafts, these guys would all be like $3 players. And they would go like in any order.
Yeah, you should lose 0 sleep over the eighth round this year. It's like, none of these running backs are going to go break out. None of these wide receivers are going to break out. I don't think,
I could see one of Dowdle or Warren doing it if the coaching staff decides they have a favorite. But I'm not worried about Monungai burying me. I'm not worried about Harvey burying me. Or, my God, was that a round 8 JCM?
That was a Bill.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why we're seeing a lot of purple in the 7th and 8th round is because we've hit that fall off. I think this is like the sign of a bad rookie class. Like usually there's
For
2 or
sure.
3 guys. Like this is where it's all right, Jaden Higgins. This is you insert whatever player.
Do you want to take Stafford with Puka here, or any of these wide receivers doing anything for you?
Do we want to try to squeeze in? Where's Corum versus Stafford and ADP?
Yeah, let's do
Let's do Corum. We're 1 injury away from him like really mattering. I think we need some more upside at running back.
Do you think there will be much of a like a continuation of the split from last season where like Corum was kind of figuring it out?
I think the baseline should be, a third versus 2/3. And I think if by the end of the season it was closer to 50-50, that wouldn't surprise me. But I mean, he was scoring enough touchdowns and mattering in second halves enough where he had some best ball viability in half PPR, like nothing too crazy. And redraft, it was always so much harder because you never knew when he was going to actually do it. But in half PPR best ball, I do think that there was enough production for him to, like, he wouldn't be that big of a loss even if Kyron played the entire season. So if Kyron goes down at all, this is like super smash.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting into like 30-40% snap shares. He had a couple. I mean, I honestly don't even remember that 26-pointer against Arizona. But yeah, he contributed to best ball squads without Kyron getting injured last year. Obviously, would have been very hard to start in redraft.
The baseline's like 9 fantasy points to be a flex player. Just always think about that for tight ends, wide receivers, running back. It's 9 half PPR points is kind of the baseline to hit an average flex spot. So yeah, 1 touchdown with him, we're in there. He's probably going to score 5 touchdowns this year.
Do you think the Rams are going to be as good as they were last year on offense?
Probably not. It's just like hard to do. They're so fragile. I think that was the big thing with the Ty Simpson stuff is they're so fragile. Like at one wide receiver injury and one offensive line injury. We're talking about older players or like offensive linemen that like have been like getting away with it to me, like Alaric Jackson, and then they love their 4th round right tackle that they found. It's like
like
how much? I've
heard that before, brother. I've heard that one before. Let me tell you, dude, things are going to blink, and then Essa Poole is starting at left tackle in a must-win game, and you're like, all right.
I got Essa Poole comments when I was doing mock drafts. Like, we have Essa Poole. We're not drafting a tackle. I was like, who the fuck is Essa Poole?
I don't even know who he was. Who he's on now. I mean, he was an undrafted free agent for the Chiefs.
He's a Chiefs. Yeah, he's on the Chiefs. But
he was a practice squad guy, so I guess anyone could have claimed him if they would have wanted him. The Chiefs, I mean, certainly drafting a tackle would have been better than what they did in the end, trading up for a guy who would have been there anyway. But whatever. I hope this guy's good. This Delane guy better be good.
He's pretty good.
Let me see if you agree with this. This is my analysis of the situation. The Chiefs draft and offseason told me they thought the offense was the coach's fault and the defense was the player's fault.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. Definitely so. And then I think Kenneth Walker is really important. I think he's like a status symbol of what's going to happen schematically. Like I think they're just going to change it up. I think we're going to see more under center and more play action shots like down the football field, like more of a Shanahan feel. Like it'll never go to that extreme, but I would not be surprised we saw Mahomes get under center a little bit more. And it's, they're not leading the league in pass attempts. It's like closer to like 9th or 10th.
I mean, I don't care as long as they lead the league in points.
It'd be nice if they had a receiver, but
do you want to do Baker or do you want to take Concepcion? Concepcion's the ADP value. Baker completes our stack.
I would
with
go
Godwin?
with. Oh, we do need receivers though.
We do.
Let's go Concepcion. Let's see if we can push. Yeah,
we're
not going to get Baker. Yeah, we're not going to.
I mean, we could because I don't think any Buccaneers should have gone behind us, and 2 of these teams already have 2 quarterbacks. I don't think the Burrow team will take them, so I think we should be able.
It's probably worth it. I mean,
to push.
Baker Godwin stack is it's a nice to have. It's not a requirement.
It's nice to have. It's not. You don't have to have it. Do you think that Rice is overpriced? I certainly do not, but you could argue it if you think they're going to pass less.
I don't think so. I mean, they're so fragile on offense too. Like if something happens to Worthy or Kelsey, I mean, like who are they going to throw the ball to? Like Rice, even if the offense is pretty stagnant and more pass heavy, like he can easily go completely crazy.
Yeah.
So I do think Worthy. I think Worthy is a great pick. You're just kind of free rolling that he has a chance to be a good downfield receiver.
There you go. It worked. No. See, the thing is you have to be like a 130 IQ guy to understand that Worthy played last year with a torn labrum, and people are just not willing to do that critical thought. They just it's more fun to be like, guy sucks. Don't take him. He's like pretty obviously going to get about 800 yards and 5 touchdowns this year with like ceiling for more than that. And no one wants to admit it. It's more fun. It's more fun to be like, dude, Tyquan was more efficient than him. He didn't know how wide the field was as a rookie.
He didn't. That is true. Also, I will say Mahomes during that rookie season could not have missed him more. I mean, Mahomes just forgot how to throw the football down the football field.
It's not like he learned how to do it last year either. I don't know. Maybe tearing the ACL will have him like really refining his mechanics. Because like, okay, let's be real. Let's just be really real about Mahomes, dude. It would be impossible to not be in love with yourself if you had accomplished all that he had accomplished. Like, what do you think when he goes and works out with his coach in the offseason, they're really refining his mechanics? I don't think so. I think they're doing a lot of like trying to keep him upright. Like I've watched some videos on his training, and it's a lot of like kind of the Steph Curry bullshit where he's like getting hit while he's running and moving around and stuff. You don't see a lot of like, maybe try and throw this ball into a trash bucket 55 yards away and see if you can still do that, buddy.
Yeah. When I was interning for the Chargers, that was when Phillip Rivers was 92, and it was like last season or so. That dude, all training camp, it was just him and those like targets just sitting there from 20 yards away, 40 yards away. And like, that's all he would do is just like targets. And that guy, like, talk about like did not miss ever, was Phillip Rivers into those buckets in training camp. Is as automatic as it gets. And it's like funny to watch the other quarterbacks go in there, just like rifle it in there, and he's like throwing it like this, and it's just like a beauty.
Don't let me tell Pat how to do his business, but I wouldn't mind him taking that drill from Phillip Rivers. It would be awful nice to watch him drop one into the bucket 47 yards down the field again. I'd be pretty into that.
Yeah.
As an outs. Oh, I mean, Mahomes is 31% of this guy in contests thus far. So
really, okay.
Quarterback 12, man. He's going after Jackson Dart. All due respect. This is like he's like a quarterback 5. Like that's just like his lifeline.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, we are like out of wide receivers, brother.
Who cares? Like, it's the position that matters the least in half PPR best ball at this point. Like they all scored the same. You just loaded up on a couple of them, and
we could. And I guess we have Puka. I mean, we could take McMillan for the stack. Keaton Mitchell is my favorite pick in this range.
Man, just what a terrible range.
That's really bad.
I'll probably just go Jalen when you just based off of like roster construction and stacking. Like,
yep, yeah.
And those are terrible players.
They're well. I mean, Keaton Mitchell is the best running back in the NFL, but
yes.
other than that, I agree.
Yeah. Other than that,
I mean, he's a Charger. He's in your neck of the woods.
Fun.
Did you see the wanted poster? Did you get to see it in person? The Mike McDaniel wanted poster?
I did not. I was hoping to see him take his shirt off over the Brennan Thompson selection. I did watch that video.
I have drafted Brennan Thompson a couple times too.
Good. That guy.
I mean, that's like pure Davis Maddock catnip. Like a guy who never broke out.
He's actually good though.
Too.
No, he's good. What was last season? Last season wasn't a breakout. I mean, I watched that guy ball out.
Can you call it a breakout when you're 23? I don't. I have a hard time. Same thing with Stribling. It's like these are fake breakouts.
Sure. Yeah, he was just doing against press coverage on the line of scrimmage, 50 yards down the field against SEC competition. Seems somewhat interesting.
It's all fun and games till your tight end tears your labrum on a crosser, buddy.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
It's true. It is true. I mean, Kelsey did absolutely smoke him.
He smoked him, dude.
Smoked him. Oh man.
Yeah. All right. Give me you got to take a running back here, or is there a tight end who's maybe vaguely interesting? Not really.
Man.
We kind of got nothing here.
Underdog should consider 14-round best ball. this is insane. Where are the rookies?
I mean, Woody Marks, your boy.
Sure, he's fine.
University of Southern California's
I don't
finest.
claim him. Yeah, I don't really claim him. Yeah, wasn't my favorite.
It's valid. That's like I don't claim Joe Mixon. Like I don't claim Joe Mixon. Get him out of here.
But I think of Mixon program. As like a Sooner. Like Woody Marks did not leave a lasting impression on the USC football program.
Well, they weren't very good. Yes. his big season. Yeah, okay. They were good. They were good when Mixon was there.
Yeah.
Who's your all-time favorite Trojan?
Lendell White was absolutely cooking there for a second. That was like, I'm trying to do the math. That was probably like late elementary school.
I was gonna say that's got to be 19 years ago at this point.
Yeah, Lendell White was absolutely cooking. Juju was like my age, and like he grew up playing football against my brother. It's like we knew Juju as like a 8-year-old, and then he was awesome at USC, and he was kind of fun for a little bit before he got a little bit annoying. So Juju would be high up there. Dory Jackson was the same way, and then like Carson Palmer was like, when I was like 6 years old going to the Coliseum. That was like,
you'll never forget the college team you root for, their first really, really good quarterback. For me, it was Josh Heupel. I'll never forget. Josh Heupel is like a fat college football coach now, but to me, I'm like, that guy is.
Was he running the scam offense back then too?
Honestly, honest to God, they were like the most boring, like proletariat style team. They just ran the absolute piss out of the ball. They just it was not. They won the college football championship 13-2. Like it was not like air raids. Like no.
I wonder when he went woke and like did all this bullshit that he's doing now. Like that's crazy that how much it's changed.
It's funny. I don't remember his exact path. Like I don't know where he was at. Like one of the directional Florida schools. Isn't that right?
That's not good.
I think it's pretty
South
easy
Florida
to get
or something. Yeah.
I believe that is correct. I think it's pretty easy to get woke when you're at like the 87th best college
it's time to turn up
the NFL.
Let's just go for it. And then the obvious answer would be Reggie Bush. So that's like 2 on the nose. Like Reggie Bush when you're a 10-year-old that goes to your favorite college, like that's as good as it gets.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. You're not my all-time favorite Sooner. You might remember this guy if you're enough of a football nerd. Quentin Griffin.
I don't think I know.
He was like my generation's Deuce Vaughn. Like he was like a 5'8" running back who would handle like 350 touches a year. Nice. He played and had a crazy spot start for the Denver Broncos once.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Okay. This is the conversations you get in rounds 14, by the way, because what
these guys look better though. I like this round more than the last couple rounds.
All right, well, sell me on anyone.
I mean, I would take the dart on Washington or Hunter. I think those are reasonable. I think Pacheco is reasonable. We don't have any of the starters on those teams. I think those are all reasonable picks. And then,
all right, I'm gonna do Washington because we have Bowers, but we don't have Genty. So obviously, Genty gets hurt. They're gonna tilt more pass heavy. Are you like how woke are you to Mike Washington? Jacob thinks he's terrible. I don't think he's terrible. I mean, I don't think he's good, but I don't think he's terrible.
I'm probably with you. He was my RB3 after watching the games and whatnot with him, just because like there's a role for him. Like it's the Keaton Mitchell role at 45 more pounds. I don't trust him at all. And he runs really upright. No. So like
very upright.
He has like it's almost like Raheem Mostert kind of adjacent. Like it's kind of that role to me.
Where I mean, Raheem Mostert was not a running back, dude. Raheem Mostert was a freaking track athlete.
Yeah,
that was he didn't have 1,000 yards total in college. Raheem Mostert. I mean, that's why scouting running backs is like such like a who the fuck knows, because you can get these guys at anywhere. Like guys will turn it like. Damian Williams just going to easily lead a Super Bowl team in rushing. Like you can find these guys anywhere. It almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's very true.
All right, my favorite second tight end is Gunnar Helm. Do you have an opinion on that?
I think wide open there. He's going to be out there a ton. You like him this high? Yeah, I think it's
I mean,
fine.
Who gives a shit? These guys all these guys all stink. Like, oh no, I missed Deebo Samuel. Oh, well, it's 2 picks after the wide receiver 3 on the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, if he's lucky. What do you think about Emmett Johnson? You've got to love Emmett Johnson. I mean, this is right up your wheelhouse multiple ways.
So this is like me really playing against type, and I think it's because I've kind of gotten into the mind of how Andy Reid likes to deploy these guys. Andy actually hates rookie running backs, and he doesn't hate them for the reason you might think. Like, he was happy to deploy Brashard Smith in that really like specific role last year, but what he wants is he wants a guy who can be Samaj Pirine, but also be Kareem Hunt. He does not like having to send a guy out and immediately the defense knows what's happening. He would much rather prefer to put DeMercado out there, who weighs 218, I think. Yeah. Emmett Johnson weighed 202, and that was like with a month to prepare for the combine.
Yeah, he's not 202.
Yeah. So I'm if Emmett Johnson wins that job and they cut DeMercado, I'm happy to draft Emmett Johnson at that point. But my projection, which Jacob and Corain disagreed with, was I actually think Brashard will be active for him on game days at the beginning because they'll just do the same thing. He'll be the Jaleel McLaughlin. He'll be a kick returner, and Emmett Johnson will be the healthy scratch. We'll see if maybe Emmett Johnson will show up to camp and be really good and pick the offense up, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, thanks for coming out, DeMercado." But that's my guess right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't draft him for sure. I think there's doesn't make the roster type of outcomes here, or it's not active on game day. I can see them re-signing, like Najee Harris, here comes
the
Kareem
specter,
Hunt again.
I was going to say the specter of Kareem Hunt stays out. I mean, James Conner is probably going to get cut. I would imagine. Kamara could get cut. They're a scare. Joe Mixon. I mean, to bring in another crime person.
Yeah, fits right in.
Yeah, like they're a lot. And Reid, by the way, has done this. Like, if you go look at the Kansas City transaction logs, you'll be freaking like, how many people know that Melvin Gordon has a Chiefs Super Bowl ring? Do you think people remember that?
Yeah,
I bet they don't.
For 2 weeks. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, like he loves that. I don't know why, but that's his thing. Okay, we need at least one more wide receiver. Flournoy. You got it. Flournoy? Okay, I'm gonna happily take Ryan Flournoy. I have no real opinion on Southeast Missouri State's finest, but Evan was on the show yesterday, and that was his first call out for a late wide receiver.
Hell yeah, he's like in the first downs per route, those type of charts. Like, he's up there as like the wide receiver 6 in the league. So like there's some upside with him for sure if something happens to Pickens or CeeDee, and he's like very firmly their wide receiver 3, which is a valuable role.
Do you know the insane Flournoy stat?
No, I don't. Flournoy
and Javonte Williams were the first pair of Dallas Cowboys teammates to ever have 100 rushing yards, 100 receiving yards and a half.
Wow.
Not Des Bryant and Zeke.
Yeah.
Not Emmett Smith and Michael Irvin, but Ryan Flournoy and Javonte Williams.
I didn't know Javonte could run 100 yards and a half, like, physically. That's crazy. Good for them.
Javonte Williams, to me, is the canary in the coal mine that the Slappies have given up because, I'll just happily take him at ADP. And it's like, I don't think he's good at all. I don't think he's good at all.
Neither do I. And guess what? He's going to be the running back 14 this year. Like, accept it.
We probably need a third quarterback. Are you a Rodgers or a Penix guy or a Shadur guy?
I'm not a Deshaun guy, but he would be my answer.
All right. I think this is the first time I've taken him. Dark stuff. We got our stack.
The only reason why I think there's like some real truth to this, like aside from like the contract and there's like a sunk cost fallacy situation, plus, the Shador stuff's just not going to work out. To me, is Daniel Jeremiah, like in January, said on his podcast, "Oh yeah, Deshaun Watson's the Browns starter." I was like, okay, that seems pretty early to announce that. Daniel Jeremiah's not making stuff up. Like, why would he say that early on in the process? And the Browns were never really attached to any quarterbacks. And then we get Mary Kay Cabot and the rest of the Browns media after their mini camp saying, yeah, it's going to be Deshaun Watson. So, like, it would be crazy if Deshaun Watson was the 24th best quarterback in the NFL this year. Like, that's not out of the range of outcomes.
No, it's out of the range, dude.
No,
it's out of the range.
I think it's at the top of the range, but I think it's in the range of outcomes. I think they're going to try with Deshaun.
So this is why I say it's out of the range. He was so bad the last time we saw him.
Multiple Achilles ago.
He was so bad.
I agree. He's terrible.
I think the thing that people also forget on top of that was that he was also god awful before. That is, so it's like with Javonte, I can at least tell myself this. Well, the last time we saw him before he ever tore his ACL, he was at least good. So him returning to form is like, whatever. I mean, I didn't think it was ever going to happen. It clearly did. But with Watson, I'm like, return to form for him would be like the worst quarterback in the NFL pre-Achilles.
I don't disagree with this, but I'm looking at the quarterbacks right now. Geno Smith, Brissett, I see Bryce, you can argue Baker, Sam Darnold, all these guys, Daniel Jones, all these guys were miserable. And then all of a sudden, we're like fantasy relevant again.
Yeah.
That just kind of happens at quarterback. I think the most likely scenario is Deshaun is terrible, and he's out of there halfway through the season.
What do we know about Travis Switzer? What do we think about Travis Switzer, the offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns?
I mean, that's a fake name. I thought you were talking about Ryan Switzer.
No, first off, I'll never forget University of Northern Carolina's own Ryan Switzer.
I was like, Ryan Switzer's rank is going up the chain of command pretty quick.
Yeah, Travis Switzer is the offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns under Monken. Honestly, it's clearly the worst thing for fantasy, but it would be the most fun just to watch Taylon Green start.
I think he's going to start a game, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's in there at the goal line doing, the stuff that we want, like Jalen.
Do you think the Eagles will actually do it with Cole Payton?
He's not going to make the roster. They got Andy Dalton and
they're trading Tanner McKee for a first-round pick, buddy.
They probably should. But I don't know if the Eagles guy is even going to make the roster. I mean, Dalton signed there for a reason.
Well, he'd have to convert to tight end. I mean, I think that is the plan. I would assume.
Yeah.
All right. We probably need a wide receiver here.
Okay.
I mean, I have Zachariah Branch top.
Chris Bell would be fun later on.
I bet he's gone.
No, I think he's
there. You go.
There. I think we should do that just for fun.
Okay. I mean, I do have 28% of Zachariah Branch from pre-draft. So
really, wow.
Yeah. Oh, that you want to talk again? Davis Mattek catnip, dude. He's never had one real target in his life. It's all design shit. He's a great punt. Maybe one of the best punt returners you'll ever see. Yes. Actually,
actually true. Like he is actually incredible at this manufactured bullshit stuff. He really is. Left. There's just like nothing beyond that. But like he is actually copy pasted. It's going to work in the NFL. They're gonna give it to him. It's gonna be effective. I'm not sure how many fantasy points we're going to get out of it, but like I feel beyond comfortable making that assessment from him.
I mean, for a really, really good Georgia team, he had 86 receptions. No one else on the team had more than 28.
Yeah, they just buried my guy Oscar Delp for no reason with the Zachariah Branch stuff.
Dude, I've never been so triggered seeing you rank Oscar Delp tight end 2 and Eli Stowers tight end 5. That to me, I was just like. I felt like that was just, and then I go to the Underdog mock draft website, and you have Eli Stowers listed as a wide receiver. It felt personal, Hayden. That felt targeted. I think
Stowers the receiver is a compliment. Like let's stop doing the fake games here. Like there's actually a wide receiver path. Like let's make it happen.
Except he's not going to lose 13 pounds or whatever before the start of the season to go play X. If anything, they're going to ask him to get bigger.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think that's what they should do. I would love him 220-pound Eli Stowers just to see what happens up the seam. Like that
220-pound Eli Stowers would have been like my unironic wide receiver 4 in this class. I would have been
The comps like it becomes like, is he Brandon Marshall? Like is it
he's so good. He really is. I mean, he's only been playing tight end for 2.5 years. He converted mid-season 2 years ago. And like he transferred with Pavia to Vanderbilt. They had no idea what they were getting. Yeah. They were like, oh yeah, sure. Like we want Pavia. So yeah, you can come because you guys are best friends because he was a quarterback 3 years ago.
How did Pavia beat him out? Like that is insane that Pavia
isn't that insane? Yeah. I mean, I guess he's got to just be awful at playing quarterback, I would assume.
Yeah, probably.
Probably just really bad. All right. What was this team we drafted? Caleb Williams, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, Josh Jacobs, Cam Skattebo, Ramondre Stevenson, Blake Corum, Woody Marks, Mike Washington. What a running back room. Puka, Burden, Godwin, Concepcion, McMillan, Flournoy, Chris Bell, Brock Bowers, Gunnar Helm.
Man, Brock better be good. Brock better be really good.
No, come on. He might get outscored by Gunnar Helm straight up a couple times.
Oh,
you know the Gunnar Helm lore.
I know about him as a prospect. I liked him, and then he ran a 4 or 5 something 40.
you know why his RAS is all fucked up. He on his very first 40, he suffered a high ankle sprain.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then he ran 5.
Well, his dumbass, whoever his agent is, or like if it's his dad or his coaches or whatever, who advised him to go do the rest of the drills on a high ankle sprain, should be fired straight. Like because he clearly is like a pretty good. I mean, he got on the field and played right away. Yeah,
he's
like so his prospect stuff is you got to take it all with a grain of salt because his RAS is not real.
Yeah.
All right, Hayden, tell the people about the Hayden and Josh fantasy football show. And are you guys doing same schedule as normal? Five players I can't stop drafting, all that good stuff?
Yeah, eventually we're doing running back and wide receiver rankings this week. We did some dynasty rankings, and then Josh and I both can take a little vacation for the first half of May, and then we'll get back to doing some streams, doing some episodes, and then I'm cooking up another one of these fake websites that I'm pretty excited about.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, the website was real, and I'm not mad at the website. I'm mad that Eli Stowers. I literally I'm doing a mock draft, and I was going to go give him to the Patriots at pick 31, and I'm like, I can't find him. Why is he not on there? And there we go.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, say thank you to Hayden for his time, and I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Peace. Later.
All right, guys, we're gonna go in. I don't want to do too many of these too early. But we can go in and do another one. What do we have in the lobby here? We got the puppy. That is how full? Puppy is 16% full. The Eliminator, weekly winners, the Field General, which I have not entered yet at all, and the Big Dog. Gonna be saving the Big Dog for later. As well. Why does Pat Bryant go undrafted? He's wide receiver 3 and was earning targets on a playoff team with good offense. I guess he probably isn't the wide receiver 3. I would assume Troy Franklin is probably the wide receiver 3 for the Denver Broncos, though I could see that one going either way. What do we think the Mike Clay projections have for the Denver Broncos passing offense? Let's go find out. So we've got Waddle for less than I would have him for, only 120 targets, 115 for Courtland Sutton, 33 for Mims, 38 for Bryant, 27 for Troy Franklin, 66 for Evan Ingram, and he does not think Justin Jolly makes the team, or at least is not add him up there. Okay, where are we drafting in this one? We are drafting at the 12 slot with Seth, Fredo, Botch City, Rocco Wilds, Tibbsy, Glue Eater, and Mondor, Rico Law, my guy, Line of Scrimmage, Only Blur, and my guy, Soups. I did get a couple questions about this while we were drafting with Hayden, and I didn't want to interrupt him about the overlay tool. This is the Flock Fantasy Best Ball overlay tool. Gives you a roster construction tool. It has got rankings. It's got our site rankings. It's got Corey's rankings. It's got my rankings. It's got Mason's rankings, and then just straight underdog ADP in it. And then also the coolest part of it is the combinatorial ownership tool, which is strictly for your portfolio. And then over on the site itself, we have the Best Ball portfolio tool, which is exactly what it sounds like. All of your teams loaded up in there. A B grade on my portfolio for 302 drafts. Hey, I will take that. At this point, we're picking. I don't think I've done a BBM from the 12 slot yet. So let's figure this out here. Was Pat Bryant the wide receiver 1 at the end of the year? That is not my memory. of the situation. It's possible he was. Didn't Pat Bryant get injured at the end of the year? Or did Franklin get injured at the end? One of them got injured at the end of the year. And I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Pat Bryant. He's got like a pretty nasty concussion, I thought, at the end. All right, so we're picking at the 112. I mean, obviously I would love to get Genty. I mean, I'm going to take the two top guys by my rankings if I can. Looks like Soups is probably going to take Genty. Oh, maybe he'll take Cook. Come on, Soups. You know you love James Cook. Or maybe this man is auto drafting. And then we're going to take Genty, and then we're going to take Kenneth Walker. Bang, Genty and Walker. First round was very, very standard. Gibbs, Bijan, Chase, Puka, JSN. I guess Taylor went a little bit later. I have been seeing that more and more. Both McCaffrey and Taylor I've seen come down in the rankings just a smidge. Denver has no viable tight ends. Their wide receivers, well, Waddle is the wide receiver one. I'm with Hayden's opinion. I think that we are going to see Jalen Waddle be unleashed in a real way. Someone just asked me to look at the Mike Clay, Keaton Mitchell projection. Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't get it, and that's okay. That's okay. Mike, he tends to be a very conservative ranker, which is fine. Someone on Pete's best ball stream said it was 34 yards. That's about right. Bryant got hurt down the stretch, but he was clearly playing ahead of Franklin. Yeah, I just remember Pete was a big Troy Franklin guy last year, so I just have a lot of memories of doing the Shipcast on Sunday afternoons and him being we would always have a Pete Troy Franklin part of our pick'em entry. Yes, I am doing a normal best ball when we have Superflex in the lobby. I haven't gotten to the Superflex stuff yet. I'm guessing I probably will. I don't. Maybe I won't. I'm gonna have a crazy weekend ahead of me. I will be responsible for my dog, and also my dog's sister is coming into town because my dog's sister lives with my sister-in-law, and so I will have my baby and I will have these two crazy golden retriever puppies who will be trying to tear my house apart. So I don't know how much drafting I'm going to be able to get done this weekend. Also don't know how much golfing I'm going to be able to get in this weekend, which is a little bit of a bummer because it is an absolutely beautiful day outside. So it would be nice to go hit some balls, but it's probably not going to happen. I'm realizing just looking through my exposures, there are some spots I'm really light on kind of unintentionally. I definitely did not ever mean to be underweight on Devonta Smith. Not really intentionally this underweight on Garrett Wilson. And Garrett Wilson is a guy I like. Obviously I've got some really huge exposures here from the pre-draft contest that I need to be trying to even out a little bit. Which is, what I said I was going to do. I said that I was going to be pretty aggressive in the pre-draft stuff and then a little bit less aggressive once we got to Best Ball Mania season. And I guess I'm kind of lying about that because I'm still taking Walker ahead of ADP. I'm still taking Genty ahead of ADP. I'm still taking Rice ahead of ADP. I'm taking Bowers ahead of ADP. So maybe I'm lying a little bit. Kid's doing great. Mom's doing great. We're doing our best out here, man. We are doing our absolute best. It is being a dad is, it's sort of interesting because it's both easier and harder than you think in some ways, where some of the actual tasks you have to do are very easy, but there's no off button, man. When you're a parent, you are always a parent. This is a great turn. Taking Kyron and T here. So Genty, Walker, Kyron, and T Higgins. I mean, that is quite a start. The ability to get T Higgins in the 4th round. I mean, again, you guys know I'm not really a T Higgins guy, but even a bad T Higgins season came with a 21-pointer, a 33-pointer, a 27-pointer. And this is a bad T. Higgins season without Joe Burrow. I mean, how many touchdowns does this dude score? This dude scored 11 touchdowns in a bad season, 211 points. Crazy. You think I can afford a second kid on a YouTuber salary, bro? Come on. That's the channel. The channel will have to get closer to Mason sized for us to bring in a second kid. Honestly, I'd kind of forgotten T. Higgins was this good, and I also had forgotten how bad he was in 2023. 137 points in 12 games. All right. And I mean, obviously it does pain me to do these Kyren Williams picks here. Like Kyren, not a guy who anyone is ever super excited to draft in fantasy football. I'm not ever super excited about him. He is just kind of, and he doesn't play in a particularly fun way either. I guess that's maybe one of the things about him is that if you don't play in an exciting way, then it's kind of hard. Like, it's like Javonte. Like, I don't feel excited to take Javonte either, you know? Although I firmly understand that Javonte is going to score a lot of fantasy points if he stays healthy, which I assume he probably will at this stage. Yeah, Kyren kind of feels like the moat at running back, where like Brees, ETN, Javonte, and then you get to Kyren. To me, it's like Kyren and Javonte, where it's like these are the only things standing in my way from flipping the cards over in week 17. Like, oh, I get this team to the final, and I'm sitting there and I'm saying, man, I really hope Jalen Warren hits his 11-point projection while everyone else has Kyren Williams. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is probably just a great way to think about fantasy football these days in general, which is just sometimes you do just need a really boring guy who is going to touch the ball 16 to 20 times per game, which Kyren Williams, most certainly will. Okay. Genty, Walker, Kyren. Burrow gives us the stack. Do I just do, you know what? I am just going to do it. I'm going to do Burrow and I'm going to do Christian Watson. That's so this is a pretty big departure from me strategy wise than ways you guys would have seen me draft in the past. I've normally been a below market drafter on Joe Burrow, but just thinking about all the opportunity cost right now in fantasy football, I think one of the largest opportunity costs is actually being behind a quarterback and having to, again, theoretically, we show up in a week 17 and we're like, okay, I don't have T. Higgins stacked, because I think a really helpful structural thing to think about fantasy football is you want to have your most expensive players on your team stacked. I mean, it's not to say you should do it every time. Like, you shouldn't have 100% Justin Jefferson with Kyler Murray. You shouldn't have 100% CeeDee Lamb with Dak. But I do think in a given team, obviously it makes sense for your most expensive guy to be correlated with the quarterback. So that's one reason why I've been a little bit more in on T, particularly with Chase why I've been more in on Burrow. But also I just feel like the opportunity cost is much lower than in years past. Like, what did I give up here? I gave up DeAndre Swift, a player I don't particularly like. I gave up Jordan Tyson, who I do like, but has a wide range of outcomes. Same with Brian Thomas Jr. I'm not huge on Tyler Warren. I'm more of a downs guy. I'm not huge on Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, I mean, this is really just a more eloquent way to explain what I was saying, which is that the quarterbacks pushed up in round 7 and 10 really changes the calculus around drafting Burrow early this year versus years past. And Burrow, obviously, it's been a little bit since we have seen him at the height of his powers, but Burrow has had some insane ceiling games. 2024, he's got the 33, the 37 in week 17 against Denver. He's not very good in 2023. 2022, he was much better. And in 2021, he had the crazy end of the season against Baltimore and Kansas City. Burrow is and this is obviously coming from a Burrow hater. I am not someone who likes to shout Joseph Burrow's name, from the heavens. It's not my game. You'll know you've fully lost me when I start drafting Lad McConkey ahead of ADP and then taking Justin Herbert ahead of ADP. Stacked Burrow around the 5-6 turn feels a lot better than Allen with whomever. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I think one of the reasons why I don't love taking Josh Allen where he goes is obviously the opportunity cost where Allen goes is still quite large. And none of the Josh Allen stacks feel that good. In fact, I would say the Josh Allen stacks feel like DJ Moore is overpriced. Khalil Shakir stinks. Dalton Kincaid stinks. So you start looking at the situation and you go, you know what? Let's actually do Jalen Warren and Jordan Addison here. So I am going to pass on Mahomes here. I'm going to pass on Knicks here. Warren a little bit after ADP, Addison a little bit ahead of ADP, but that gives me 3 wide receivers that I at least feel comfortable with in week 17 with T and Watson and Addison. I mean, I don't love them. But that running back room feels quite good. I can't believe Lamar's going 2 rounds behind Allen and less than a round ahead of the next guy. Yes. Honestly, people do kind of have Lamar amnesia. That's actually a good point. I mean, he was really bad for fantasy last year. But the look at his career, man. 25 points per game, 20 points per game, 19 points per game, 20, 22, 27. So he has 25 or more points per games. Look at some of these totals from 2024. 33, 34, 32, 36, 29. I mean, multiple, just unbelievable fantasy point production. I mean, I wonder, okay. So in his career, we've got a 430 point season, a 415. I mean, how close is that to what Josh did last year? Josh last year scored. Yeah, Josh only has 1 400 point season. 364 points. I mean, so Lamar's been 50 points better than that in a season twice. Olave and Shuck feels better than Allen, Kincaid, Shakir. Yes. I mean, obviously you'd rather have Olave and Josh Allen or whatever if you were gaming it out, but I agree. Yeah, I mean, 18th round knocks you definitely can do. 2024 Lamar outscored 50 more points than every other quarterback. Yeah, I mean, the Lamar stuff is crazy. Yeah, and Lamar is younger than you think too. I mean, that's also true. It's just that whole situation just got very, very toxic for everyone involved, I think. Like Harbaugh didn't want to be there, Lamar didn't want to be there, and it shook through the entire ecosystem. Yeah, I guess that 1 week must have been insane if 36 points was the QB3 on a given week. People forget the NFL used to be fun. Teams used to score points. We used to all engage in, man. It used to be weeks where like you'd have to have 220 points to win on DraftKings in a weekend. Oh man, Kyler is still on the board. Are we gonna run pure here? No, Kyler is not still on the board. Is he? Okay, Love is on the board. Love gives me a stack. Could take Michael Pittman Jr. here. I could take Laporta here. Oh damn. Okay, sniped on Love. You know what? Let's do Laporta and let's do Goff. That's not one I get a ton of. Okay, that came together nicely. So we've got Burrow, Goff, Genty, Walker, Kyron, Jalen Warren, T. Higgins, Christian Watson, and Jordan Addison. That is, I was going to say, I bet that is not a combinatorial pairing that I have all that much. So I have 18 Goff teams thus far, and this is only my second. You see that? 2 of 302 drafts contain the 2 anchor players. So I have very few combinations of that. Man, I probably am not going to do a super flex today. We could, okay. I'll say this. If you guys all want a super flex draft, I will plan on doing one tomorrow for the stream. So if you guys are watching this now, you can comment that, or if you're watching this on replay, I would love to hear from you guys if you want a super flex one. And if you comment down below, then I can potentially pursue that. But you got to give the people what they want, and the numbers don't lie. By and large, people really like when you draft BBMs on stream, and I am nothing if not someone who is happy to give the people what they want. Yeah, we are probably going to have to rip 6 wide receivers in a row on this team, I would think. Luckily, it's a great year to draft wide receivers late, right? People are saying that more and more. Very, very good year to draft wide receivers late. As the tier of late wide receivers that I'm even loosely interested in just get ripped off the board. Golden goes, Higgins goes, MPJ goes. Worthy went at 98 to a non-Mahomes team in this one, which is sort of interesting. In terms of construction, looks like 7 wide receivers gives me a 13% advance rate. 8 wide receivers gives me a 15% advance rate, 1.6% to the finals. 15% advance rate, 5 running backs. Yeah. So, okay. So the overlay definitely thinks, we got to go 8 wide receivers. Sorry, been absent. Tell me about the Flock merger and partnership. Yeah, no problem. So basically, all of my content is now available over on Flock Fantasy. So if you want my rankings for Dynasty, for Best Ball, for Superflex, like whatever it is all over on Flock Fantasy. And then additionally to that, which you can sign up, there's a link to that in the description. Additionally to that, if you navigate over to the Best Ball tab, you can track all of your Best Ball portfolio. And then there is the Chrome extension overlay tool. The overlay tool itself with the portfolio stuff is $47. And the full package with everything. So you get the trade calculator, you get the team manager, you get rankings, you get everything on the site is $147 for a full year for the annual. So you get it for Dynasty, you get it for Best Ball, you get it for Redraft, you get it for every type of fantasy football there is. All right, we got to take a wide receiver. And the best wide receiver, oh, this is so dark. All right, I guess we're doing Jalen Coker. Man. Jalen Coker and Omar Cooper Jr. I mean, that was not a fun turn. That was not that great. And I think the portfolio tool is pretty cool. Get your average pick of these guys. You get your delta. You get some. It's fun. Delta on Jaden Ott, negative 1,067. Tracks all your tournament entries for you. Tracks all your stacks. All the teams have advancement and ADP value grades on them, so it grades every team. And then you can go through and sort by, you can sort by versus rankings and stuff. Pretty cool. Sort by recent, sort by your highest advance rate, sort by your highest ADP value. Be fun to see the highest ADP value ones in there. No, I don't believe there is any plan to. I do not believe there is any plan to do overlays for NFL Battle Royale at this point. Maybe at some point it will make sense. We'll see though. I just the total number of people who play NFL Battle Royale is a lot smaller than you would think. So it's hard to spend a ton of developmental tools and money and time on such a thing. All right, my guy Chris Gotterup is 3 under. Love to see that. I'm here for the Matic intervention. 9 concurrent puppies while laying in bed is absolutely deranged. Sir, Mr. Faro? How else do you want me to get to 3,000 drafted teams? Sometimes sacrifices have to be made. Sometimes you have to draft 9 teams in bed simultaneously before bed. As time goes on, it's clear that Genty is the 106. I mean, I agree with you, brother. I'm out, and I will be happily chasing Mr. Genty up the board for sure. Yeah, I really like the player comparison bucket as well. It's one of my favorite things about the site for sure. 9 fast at a time over 50 slows. Well, what if I told you got to do both, Mookie? All right. Do I take a third quarterback? I think we're gonna wait. So I think I gotta just find some upside. Actually, you know what? Let's take Mendoza with Genty, and then let's take Travis Hunter. I need some upside. I need some upside there. I'd realized looking through the tool that I just have very little of Genty and Mendoza together. Only 4 of my 302 drafts have one of the two of them. And if you think about it, a big part of Genty's upside is via receiving. I mean, his biggest games last year were with huge reception tallies. So I do think you kind of want those guys together. Sometimes. I mean, obviously you don't want them a ton together. Am I going to wear a suit jacket while drafting? We might have to, man. We might have to break the suit out. Tell you what. I'll wear the suit tomorrow because I don't have a guest for tomorrow's stream lined up, so it's just going to be me and you guys. And yeah, we can do the suit jacket. Over under on days to fill the puppy one. It'll definitely be fewer days than you would think. They always fill a bit quicker than you think they will. Man, am I crazy on this Travis Hunter stuff? I just feel like when I get in this range and I'm looking at like Tyreek Hill, Juwan Jennings, Trey Harris, Ryan Flournoy, it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna take the defensive back, man. I'm just gonna take the defensive back. Why wouldn't I? You know, the upside is there. What do I do with my hair when I wear a suit? Put a hair tie on. Put it all up. You know, I think from my understanding of contests this year, I think their plan is to probably do a lower number of overall contests, and size the contest they do release a bit larger. Dang, Wink says Genty ranked as his running back 12. Hey, he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. Hayden's a smart guy. Okay, at least one more tight end. All right, let's take my guy Gunnar. And then is there any running back that's really leaping out here? You know what? I do like Nick Singleton. I am a Singleton bro. Then we're probably good with 5 running backs here because I think we need to spend some extra capital at wide receiver on this team. Ooh, this is a good question. Prediction on how many puppies this year. I'll say we get 5 puppies this year. I'll go a little bit over average, and I'll say we get 5 puppies this year, because if it's true that they're going to do less overall volume with like, if there's kind of like less like pointer and golden retriever 2 and the German shepherd or whatever, then I would guess that means that we get 1 extra puppy. That's my guess. Honestly, I would say, yeah, this is probably a good shout. They'll definitely do a super flex one. I would say, again, this is my guess. I don't know any of this because, you know, I'm not an Underdog employee. I am merely an Underdog influencer. Sign up using code Davis over on UnderdogFantasy.com. I can only read their public statements and guess. I think they just want to have. I think the plan would be to just kind of have a puppy open all year long. Just they'll just always be one out and open in the lobby, which I, for one, think is very cool. I mean, someone of my proclivities, someone who wants to be drafting as much as I want to be drafting, I'm very hip to that. I'm hoping to create a nice marriage of these being an 8% bro or a flag plant bro. I'd like to have probably a couple guys who I'm going to have like 20-25% of. And the new portfolio tool I think is actually going to help me do that, because not only will we be able to check overall exposures, but I'm able to check like combinatorial stuff. So like 4% Tyson and Shuck feels pretty good. Do I feel light on, I only have 2% of Adunze and Williams or whatever. So I think there'll be a nice little mix. All right. Rounding this one out, we definitely need one more wide receiver. And actually, let's take Gesicki, who, again, I never really take. We'll do Mike Gesicki. And then let's draft. You know what? Is Stribling here? Is Stribling available? Stribling is gone. So I'm going to take Christian Kirk. Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, Fernando Mendoza, Ashton Genty, Kenneth Walker, Kyron Williams, Jalen Warren, Nicholas Singleton, T. Higgins, Christian Watson, Jordan Addison, Jalen Coker, Omar Cooper Jr., Travis Hunter, Christian Kirk, Sam Laporta, Gunnar Helm, and Mike Gesicki. All right, I'm actually going to make a deal with you guys. I was planning on getting out of here and going to see some sunlight. But if you guys can get, we're at 65 likes right now. If you get to 100 likes, I'll do one more. 100 likes, I'll do one more. That was a pretty good team right there, actually, I think. Drafts completed. Best Ball Mania. Is this the one I did with Hayden? Yeah, I'm going to call this one Hayden, Deshaun, 430. Yeah, Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk's going to be the slot wide receiver, man. Pat does have me capitulating to Stribling, at least for best ball. BBM will fill at the same rate it always does. It'll fill at the same rate it always does. I'm not worried about it filling too much quicker than normal. Honestly, I think it'll probably be just about what it always is. Yeah, the wide receiver room for San Francisco is Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Ricky Pearsall, Deshaun Stribling, and I think Demarcus Robinson is still there. All right, how many likes did you guys get to? What do we got here? 95? Okay, all right. We'll go enter into one more. One more Best Ball Mania. I've now done 11 Best Ball Mania drafts. Let's get after it. Did it slightly overlay last year? I think maybe it did. I think it did. I believe that is correct. I think maybe it got to like 99.8% full or whatever. And I remember filling mine quite early and then feeling that it was a little bit, that I was like, oh, I didn't need to do that. All right, who do we got in here? We got Rylan Miller, ATK Mumphin, Gus Fring, great name, L Hussey 1, Soups, Romo 69, Tone Loke 54, M Jordan 2345, Viserat, not even going to try that name, and my guy Del Molino 24. All right, well, hey, you don't got to draft well, but you do got to draft quick, boys. Isn't that the rule? And we'll get to do a little Gibbs one here. Although sometimes 1.5, 1.6, there is a discrepancy there. And it looks like I must have gotten slightly more 101s than 1.2s because I actually do have more Bijan Robinson than Gibbs, which is fine by me. Guy and my puppy just took Parker Washington and Kyle Pitts at the 4-5 turn. Maybe he's just going off box scores from last year. All right, there we go. Jahmyr Gibbs. Man, and I just realized that my guy, Tyler Soderstrom, did not play today, which means that I've got some empty home run parlays, which is always a little bit annoying. You know what? Liam actually, Liam messaged me and said that we should do a draft together soon, trying to figure out what the ideal time for that would be. But there will be a Chess Liam Davis Maddock stream relatively soon. Oh, I couldn't disagree more with this. Truth serum, clock should go back to 30 seconds. Hard no, dude. Why would you ever want to go? Why would you ever want to go back to 30-second clocks? I can't think of a more obvious great innovation that Underdog made than going to the 20-second clocks. You know how many hours of your life you save going back to 30? So if you so 18 times 30 is 540 seconds. So if we do 20 or 18 times 20, so then 360 seconds. So it goes from 540 seconds to 360 seconds. Think about the compounding time. Yeah, I do the DraftKings drafts and they take forever, dude. See, I think 20 seconds makes it easier to get more volume in. That's my opinion. My opinion is that it makes it easier to get more volume in because the drafts just go quicker. I liked that they did the one, I think they called them German Shepherds, not last offseason, but the offseason before they had the German Shepherds. And they did 10-second clock, a 15-second clock, and a 20-second clock. Yeah, the 30 seconds stinks. Yeah, a potential of 36 minutes per draft. I mean, real OGs of the Davis Maddock channel remember last pre-draft, so not the pre-draft that we just got done with, but the 2025 pre-draft contest. We were doing 30-second clock, 20-round drafts on Underdog, where auto drafters never got put on auto draft. There were times we were doing 2025 big boards, and they were taking us hours, dude. They were taking us like 90 minutes to do these drafts. It was not a fun experience for anyone involved. Wasn't fun for me. Wasn't fun for the drafters. Oh, we got a DK Metcalf, Matthew Golden drafter. Okay, well, might verge on the territory of this one getting tossed, which would be a bummer. Don't like that. Don't like Blonde Thang 22 doing that. I will take Derrick Henry here, though. I mean, come on, bro. Can't be doing that shit in Best Ball Mania. Can't be taking DK Metcalf. All right, let's take Chase Brown. A little running back start there. Yeah, the DK mobile site can be a little tough. I agree. Wow, Drake London got all the way to the corner there. Wow, Trey McBride. All right, round 3, Trey McBride, Jahmyr Gibbs, Chase Brown, Trey McBride. All right, we gotta keep an eye on this guy over here in the corner. I don't want to get killed by that guy. Well, easy to get a stellar start when DK Metcalf and Matthew Golden go at 11 and 14. Really hoping that doesn't happen. I've not drafted one of these yet where someone has been way out of bounds, but it could be happening right here. All normal drafting other than that, though. Toss him out, Numi. Come on, Hope. Who needs it? Who needs it? Not me. All right. I'm waiting on bated breath. Do we think he'll draft Josh Allen? What if he does Aaron Rodgers right here? I'll be so tilted, bro. Yeah, all right. Well, we might be done here. I'm going to give him one more chance. I don't know, bros. I just don't know. But the thing is you gotta stay locked in because you never know. How much do I think AJ Brown rises when he gets traded. I bet he's not gonna rise. He's not gonna rise much more than right here. I don't think. Oh, Chris Godwin. Okay. Yeah, Jordan Love here to lock up his quarterbacks. He's arenas maxing. That's true. I had someone do that last year and I figured it was going to get canceled. So I started a new one and let it auto for that one, auto for it to never get canceled. Yeah, something I did notice was that they definitely, they opened it up in terms of what they cancel. Yeah, clearly not using the flockfantasy.com promo code Davis ranks. That much is for sure. Which they should be. Sorry, got to send a text back about dinner, bro. Very important. All right. Let's do, I guess if we have, we might need it. I don't know. Maybe I just take Bucky here. Or I could set up, you know what? No. Let's set up the Flowers Lamar. Not a combination that I have a ton of. Actually, very, very light on that combo. Is Manungai actually good? I do not think so. I do not think Manungai is especially good. I think he is a average or below average NFL running back. That would be my opinion. What do you guys think though? Do you guys think he's good? Bang. All right. Honestly, this team is pretty fire, so I really hope it doesn't get thrown out. Lamar, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Zay Flowers, Trey McBride. So I've got the quarterback one, I've got the running back one, and I've got the tight end one. And then when I take Xavier Worthy, I will also have the wide receiver one. Jack thinks that Lamar and Gibbs are the two highest scoring players this year. Flowers and 0.5 PPR is a tough click for me. Yes, but you can imagine what it would be like if he did score touchdowns. Yes. You know what? I will, you know what? Just let me message. I'm going to message New Me right now. User Buanthang 22 is throwing BBMs. All right. I have reported this egregious criminal to the highest authorities in the land, one Mr. Shane Newman, and we'll see. So I hope Buanthang enjoys his trip to Guantanamo Bay. I know, it's so frustrating. Why could the Bears have not taken any running back with a pulse? Jacoby Myers is defensible, I think. Jacoby Myers, it's a terrible pick, and this guy obviously is 0% to advance, but at least he's not going in the wrong direction. Yeah, I think Manungai is. I don't think Manungai's terrible. I don't think he's like the worst running back in the National Football League. Do you also have a soft spot for Isaiah Pacheco from Rutgers? And who was the wide receiver from Rutgers? Amara Darborough. Hey, there you go. Carnell Tate. So what happened now is this guy doesn't want to get banned. This guy is watching the stream and now doesn't want to get banned from the site. Which happens all the time, where a guy will try and throw the draft. Davis trying to get on the record this guy's team is defensible to not have this draft thrown. Well, all I'll say is I don't care. Me personally, I would rather these drafts do not get thrown out. My personal opinion is that the fewer drafts thrown out, the better. I think obvious collusion, sure, but just being a stupid person is not a crime. Wow, Burrow last. Okay, well, I mean, this is the other side of the coin because Burrow now totally lasts in here. You know what? I could just take Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow with Chase Brown. What are these wide receivers doing for me? You know, I think I'm going to. Yeah, I am just going to take Burrow. What a weird team. The Bears were protecting my 25% Swift exposure. All right. Per Numi, this user's drafts are being reviewed, but they're not guaranteed to be thrown out. Man, I need a wide receiver, but there's nothing here. There's nothing. Chuba Hubbard, come on down. What do you want me to do, man? You want me to take Parker Washington? I can't do it. My wide receivers are going to be terrible. I'm drafting like it's 2015 again. All you need is running backs, dude. And why would I not take expensive quarterbacks? Quarterbacks score the most points. Oh no. I got to I gotta grab the I can't move it. I can't move the overlay because it's hidden underneath my here you go. No, I can do it. I gotta because it's hidden underneath my StreamYard bar. Well, all right. Well, I hope you guys like it there. Yes, taking Burrow right there would have gotten me eviscerated on Twitter. Yeah, we've all learned a lot. Parker Washington is a horse in a horse year, bro. You're gonna have to elucidate me on that one. I don't know what a horse is in a horse year. Truth serum, I think most BRs, especially NBA and MLB, there are high levels of collusion. Well, there's definitely no collusion in MLB because who cares? You could collude in MLB all day. You could give someone the highest projected team every day in MLB battle royales, and it would not matter at all. Wouldn't matter a fig. Their EVs wouldn't change. And in NBA, they have a pretty good process for weeding out cheaters in NBA. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I big time disagree with you. On DK, guy started Goff, Barkley, Kelsey. 3593 is just 3953. I mean, I'm sure there are some people who just want to draft that way. All right. Well, hey, this guy locked up his Darnold Shaheed stack. I'm thinking this guy actually is just stupid. I don't think this guy is an obvious colluder. I think he's just stupid, which isn't a crime in our country. All right. Well, now we're going to have to dig deep, and we are going to have to find ourselves some wide receivers because we have got Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Jahmyr Gibbs, Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard, Zay Flowers, and Trey McBride. True innovator. Yes, a true innovator. All right. We're going to take Jaden Reed, and then we are going to hope that in between us, Rylan Miller does not take Ricky Pearsall. Yeah, KC. I mean, just the KC defense in general looks shaky, but I don't know if you want Mahomes playing from behind. I just think you want Mahomes getting his groove back. I mean, that was the big issue. The Chiefs were swagless last year. I don't know if that is the proper definition, but I can say with certainty. All right, we did get Ricky. All right, we're balancing it out here. The big issue with the Chiefs last year is that they were swagless. If he's new and misguided, just calling him stupid a bunch of times make him want to stay. It would probably make me want to learn. Hey, you know what? That guy can go instead. I can actually help that guy because that guy can just go get rankings from flockfantasy.com and then he'll be able to draft good teams. Very, 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 very simple. I don't really think I don't think this is behavior of throwing on purpose. Maybe he is. I don't know. I did all I can do on my end. I passed it off to the integrity team. And I don't know what more you want me to do. I'm just an innocent bystander, bro. Tyquan Thornton was the most swaggy thing on the Chiefs roster. Yeah, that was it. That was all they had. I will not be starting a new draft, Mr. Bryan. We're riding it out because I don't think this one is gonna get tossed. My guess is that this one is on the borderline of getting tossed and probably doesn't. We'll see what he does at running back, but yeah, I would assume this guy is probably just more drafting bad than anything else. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he is trying to throw it. But that's what happens when you do peer-to-peer games. It's Mr. Boner. Well, I mean, not taking a buddy. What if I told you there was an entire subculture of users on Underdog that used to think it was a badge of honor to wait as long as possible to take running backs? What would you think about that? This would be my opinion, is you really, in my opinion, only want to ban people who are working in, like, obviously colluding. I think you basically have to toss any draft where a team has no 1 to 5 round picks or whatever that is. Yeah, and he doesn't. I mean, Carnell Tate, I guess, is on the borderline. Parker Washington's on the borderline, but yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a terrible team. All right, Jaden Higgins, come on down. Sometimes that is just the nature of peer-to-peer games, you know. Most of the EV in these games comes from people playing them poorly, you know. God, I mean, wide receiver is so bad. There are just no good wide receivers anywhere, ever. And if I want Andrews, do I have to take him here? Yeah, pretty much I do. I don't really like anyone else, so I'm just going to take Andrews here to get the stack. I mean, those wide receivers were doing nothing for me. Yeah, sometimes they do throw drafts out without banning the user. In fact, I would assume most of the time when a draft is thrown out, the user actually is not banned, unless it is a clear collusion case, like where they see like 2 accounts drafting together and trying to throw. I mean, honestly, I guess selfishly for my purposes, I prefer most drafts to not get thrown out because I don't want to waste my time. Thoughts on the Titans receivers? This is actually a good question because I think the Titans receivers are kind of interesting. Like Tate obviously is the best of the group. I wonder if Wan'Dale is still maybe the odds-on guy. I wonder if Tate gets out targeted by Wan'Dale Robinson, and then like what type of role is Ridley gonna have? And like Chimere DK and Alec Iomanner were not that bad. So the way that Mr. Clay has it is 123 targets for Tate, 117 for Robinson, 100 for Ridley. That seems about right to me. I would honestly maybe bump Tate down a little bit, bump Wan'Dale up a little bit, and I would maybe give a little bit more to my guy Jester Gunnar Helm as well. But I do think Wandale on half PPR is probably being a little bit overvalued, and I do think that Ridley is probably being a little bit undervalued. I do not think Tate is better than Puka, but that is sort of a tenuous opinion. Lots of people have very strong opinions about Carnell Tate, basically. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I've got strong opinions about lots of guys. And I'm kind of shorter on Tate than the market. So I have Tate ranked behind Jordan Tyson in my dynasty rookie rankings, which is not the exact consensus these days. Well, I mean, I think I made the right choice taking Andrews because a lot of the picks after I would not have done. Like the guys I were considering, like Omar Cooper Jr. or Denzel Boston, they just went. Dayball must like Wandale seems like the perfect fit. I mean, I would assume Tate actually is a little bit more the stylistic fit because he's more the go and get it guy. He's the more the jump ball guy, whereas Wandale is more the yak guy. All right. This feels like a good team for Keaton Missile. Gibbs, Chase. Oh, well, there you go. All right, we're gonna take Keaton. And then I gotta stop taking Travis Hunter every time. I gotta take a different receiver on this one. Sure wish there was a third receiver who was even somewhat draftable on the Cincinnati Bengals. Sadly, there really isn't. All right, we got the missile. I mean, do I take Diggs? I guess I do kind of need some grown-up production here, actually. This is a real hope and pray wide receiver room. Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, Ricky Pearsall, Jaden Higgins. Not a lot there. All right, we're going to take Diggs on this one. We're going to do the more adult, responsible pick. So we have Lamar double, Burrow and Chase Brown. I mean, maybe I take Gesicki on this team. Haven't been able to make up my mind on Aiyuk if he eventually makes his way to Washington. If he does make his way to Washington, he probably is one of the best. I'll say this. If the Commanders can actually get a hold of Brandon Aiyuk on the phone and end up trading for him, he is the best wide receiver pick on the board right now. He really is. Now, the concern is that Brandon Aiyuk feels very, very unreliable. Decided he didn't want to get his $160 million guaranteed or whatever. That's a problem. Just to give up that much money because you want to go play with your college teammate. Lots of guys want to play with their college teammates and don't give up $140 million guaranteed. He clearly was, just not with the program with San Francisco. And you worry about guys in a sport like football where it's all about being on the program. Like when you're not on the program, it's a big problem. Who's to say he will get with the program with Washington? But Brandon Aiyuk's a really good player, way better at earning targets than even Terry McLaurin is. I'm not very high on Kittle, relatively speaking, but I am very high on Kelsey, and I'm pretty high on Andrews as well. Yeah, Wandale was third amongst targets for wide receivers last year. Guy earns targets. I mean, I don't really think there's any. I don't really think there's any denying that. All right, there you go. Aaron Rodgers goes to the Anon drafter. Could just be a Shanny. I mean, it definitely could be a Shanny thing, but he was so productive for Shanny before. Like he had one of the greatest, like his season. I mean, that season that he had, his 2024 season was like unbelievable, dude. Or the 2023 season, sorry. 15.5 fantasy points per game on only 6.6 targets per game. 83 yards per game. I mean, incredible. He just every week he'd be like, all right, dude, I had 4 catches, smash, 5 catches, 26 fantasy points. He was, I mean, I was more of the Deebo guy back then, but still. Tyreek kind of makes some sense on this build. Again, just trying to find some ceiling there. It's the substation. Some rip Achilles, some go crazy. Could be the substation. Substation, I think someone said this in the Discord this morning. Substation, Electrical Substation is a great band name. All right. Brian Robinson Jr., really good pick. That's a good running back room. Gibbs, Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard, Keaton Mitchell, Brian Robinson. Got all the assets you need. It's got the bona fide superstar. It's got the spike week touchdown guy. It's got the reliable veteran. It's got the fun young guy in Keaton. And then it's got your just bog standard handcuff. If the guy ahead gets injured, he'll be a star. Brian Robinson. That is a good running back room. I'm feeling good about this one. Yeah, dude, he is definitely a wide receiver diva. But, you know, those guys do find ways to turn the time back more than you would think. Honestly, a good question. Who is the Javonte Williams handcuff in Dallas? I mean, I'm assuming right now that it's Malik Davis. I really do think that it is Malik Davis. They just don't trust Jaden Blue. Miles Sanders is gone. I mean, I guess it could be Maffa. Right now, it looks like projections have Jaden Blue, but I think it's probably Malik Davis. I really do. Jaden Blue is just not a serious football player. I mean, shoot, it could be James Conner. It could be Joe Mixon. It could be Najee Harris. Joe Mixon feels pretty pretty Cowboysy. There you go. I mean, a few Malik Davis clicks pre-draft. You were prescient on that one. As crazy as this sounds, I think the substation thing might be a thing. Had a friend who was never hurt or sick, and they built a substation near his house, and he's been sick all the time. I mean, hey, what do I know? I'm not a scientist, bro. Could certainly be true. Don't want YouTube hitting me for misinformation, though, bro. Dallas, Baltimore, and Indianapolis are all high-value handcuff spots with murky running back 2 situations. I kind of wonder if it is Seth McGowan, actually, for Indianapolis. And I like Randall in Baltimore. Man, it wouldn't take me much to get drafted Phil Maffa. Yeah. I would be feeling Phil, Chad, pretty quickly. I could get back. I could get Mac on the Maffa train surprisingly fast, I think. All right. Is this a Flournoy team? Except the scientists who do not have a very clear opinion on the matter. They do have a very clear opinion on the matter. I'm all ears. All right. I'm going to take Surratt, who I never take, basically. I mean, I assume most of the data on the substation say it's no big deal. I'm assuming that is the research. But don't get your research from me. All right. Now we are also going to take... You know what? Let's take Cooper Kupp. Let's take Cooper Kupp. Again, just I need a body. I need a body. It's week 8. The Titans are 2-6. Nick Singleton is flashing in practice. Jerry's answering the call to discuss a Tony Pollard reunion. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jerry loves to bring his guys back. Why would McGowan be above Giddens? I mean, they were killing Giddens. Giddens was a healthy scratch at the end of last year. Connor, I owe you an email. So my friends are basically just being really annoying about setting up the very nice offer that you gave us. I don't think they realize how nice of an offer the email that you sent me was. I did not forget about you. Some of my buddies don't have an official GIN. Like they only have like an 18 birdies handicap or whatever. But I didn't forget you, and I appreciate you very much reaching out for the Golf Genius for the trip. and we will get sorted. All right, we've got anecdotal evidence from my guy Soups. You feel funny when working inside the substation. Okay, there you go. He can manually do the indexes. All right, I will let them know. Although honestly, if you are a man or woman in your 30s who golfs multiple times a year, what excuse do you have to not have a GIN? It feels a little crazy. Oh, I didn't even know this, that 18 birdies links with GIN. I don't think it does, because I was not I just started keeping track of mine this most recent year, and I was not able to import my scores. GIN is, I assume it stands for Golf Handicap Index Network. I assume that's what it stands for, but it's just an official USGA approved golf handicap index. Tell me more about Zero RB. Buwan is putting on a clinic. Yeah, he's got what? He's got Kenneth Gainwell, and then it's going to make him take Najee Harris as his last one. Well, I mean, he did a real Arenas there. All right, what's our final pick going to be here, boys? We've got Lamar, Joe Burrow, Jahmyr Gibbs, Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard, Keaton Mitchell, Brian Robinson Jr. They dropped the junior. Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, Ricky Pearsall, Jaden Higgins, Steph Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Elijah Surratt, and Cooper Kupp. Who am I taking? Who's my last pick? I mean, I guess I could take Gesicki. That's really in terms of stacks. I mean, that's all there is. Jacoby Lane, Kalen Black. My index is, and I'm embarrassed to say this, I'm a 13.6. So I am not very good. I am not very good at golf, but I really like it. Okay, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm Adam frickin' Randall, baby. Put your money where your mouth is. Adam Randall, running back 6. Lamar, Burrow, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard, Keaton Mitchell, Brian Robinson Jr., Adam Randall, Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, Ricky Pearsall, Jaden Higgins, Steph Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Elijah Surratt, Cooper Kupp, Trey McBride, Mark Andrews. All right, I'm going to click the sync again button. Get my teams all synced up over on Flock Fantasy. Who gets more goal line carries in New England? I would say probably Ramondre. 13.8. All right, hey, 13 handicap, bros. So 13 handicap is not the best the way I play, because I am an overperforming 13. I very rarely make birdies. I am a short bunter off the tee. I have very good short game, so I scramble for a lot of pars and I scramble for a lot of bogeys. But so basically my deal with golf, and I'm sorry if you guys don't care about this, but my deal with golf is I'm very strong for my size, but I am not very twitchy, and I have an over-the-top swing with really bad early extension. So I hit my driver about 220. That's really bad. That's really how about this? How many people can bench press more pounds than yards they can drive the golf ball? That's got to be a very small number of people. And I am in that group of people where I can bench press further than my average distance. My short game is very good, and I would say my short game for my handicap is very, very good. Everything else is pretty bad. I mean, a good driver, I would assume a lot of the people watching this who golf, like they probably hit it like 260, and they probably hit it further in the air than I do. I mean, I think 275 is the number of like if someone's like a 5 handicap, they can hit it 275 and probably carry it 250. Okay, we've got everything synced over on the portfolio tab. Let's go check this out. See if I've gotten any Do I have Mahomes below 30% yet? Oh, I mean, pros hit it like Rory can carry a ball 330 yards. Like Rory or Bryson or like Chris Goddard could carry the ball like a football field more than my drive. I'm a 3 that only hits it. I mean, dude, I this is always what everyone says, but obviously, like, I feel like, oh, if I hit it 270, I would make a birdie every hole. Like, obviously, I wouldn't, but that's the way it feels. All right, we are up to 307 drafts on Underdog. $2,800 invested. Portfolio grade is a B. Most of my teams are 3 quarterbacks. This stuff will all balance out because obviously a ton of this is pre-draft stuff. I've got Mahomes and Rice down to 12%. And I've got Mahomes overall down to 30.3%. Yeah, like Martin Borgmeyer can hit at 400. So I also, the other thing here, Brady, is that I also do not hit it dead straight. Obviously, I still lose balls left. I still lose balls right because I'm always trying to fix something with my swing because I really hate being bad at stuff. It drives me crazy. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Make sure you like the video. Check out all the tools and rankings and awesome stuff over at flockfantasy.com. You can sign up there using code Davis, and I'll be back with all of you guys tomorrow.